Hello, my name is Matthew Lee. I would like to share with you today the geolocation analytic capabilities of Spotfire. Spotfire features an easy-to-use map chart, as you can see on the left here. It supports multi-layer shapefile rendering, and it can also calculate the distance between points. I'll be showing a demo with these features, but first, let me introduce the background of this demo. This demo is an analysis of the vessel activities in Port Hedland, Western Australia. Port Hedland is Australia's largest export port by annual throughput and the largest bulk mineral port in the world. It is shipping iron ore around the clock. With strong tidal conditions in Port Hedland, the sailing window of a given vessel can be as low as 30 minutes. A delay of one vessel can cost over $30 million worth of lost production. Therefore, this demo analysis is critical to visualize the vessel position with tidal height in the time dimension. Let's begin the demo. In this page, I have the activity data for 4 vessels that comes in and out of Port Hedland. And for each vessel, I have the AIS data describing the location of the vessel with latitude and longitude, its speed, and the direction of where the vessel is heading. On the left side, the map chart shows the position of the vessel at the different point in time. The position of the vessel is plotted in with this circular marker in the map chart. We can also use the line connection feature to connect these pointers to show that the vessels are actually traveling in the direction of coming into the port and then out of the port. With the positional data, we are able to calculate the distance of the vessel and the port. And the distance is presented in this line chart here, with the lowest distance representing the vessel is inside the port area, and as the vessel comes out of the port, the distance increases, and at a later point in time, the vessel comes back into the port with the distance decreases to the minimum as stated here. We can also present the tidal height in this blue line, zigzag blue line at the back. This is the height of the tidal at different time. And with the gray horizontal line showing the minimal tidal height, you can see the sailing window within the high tides. So between this vessel is sailed out of Port Hedland in this sailing window here at this upper triangle, and the vessel comes back into the Port Hedland at this sailing window. This is just the beginning of this sailing window here. The calculation of the distance, it makes use of the out of the box expression from Spotfire. Let me show you the calculated column responsible for the distance between the port and the vessel. It is down here called the distance from port. This is called the Great Circle distance provided by Spotfire, where you only need to provide the latitude and longitude of 2 points. This is the latitude and longitude of the port, and also the latitude and longitude of the vessel at different time. With this calculation, we can find out the distance of the port and plotted this line chart here. And with the marking set between these visualizations, I'm able to select a point on the table and shows in the map chart where it's highlighted in the map chart that this point is at this location. And if I move this point along the table, you'll see the vessel movement at that point in time. However, the markers on this map chart here may look confusing because the inbound and outbound routes overlaps each other. It would be much clearer if we can present these vessels indicating the direction of where the vessel is traveling. In fact, Spotfire, the shapefile capability of Spotfire's map chart allowed this to happen. On this page, you can see that the vessels are now drawn with shapes. And this is the capability of the shapefile in the map chart. Here, the shapes are presented with the information of the length and the width of the vessel. So we can actually draw the vessel at the exact location of when the vessel was traveling, with the exact heading direction, the location represented by this AIS data. We are able to draw this vessel as shown in this column here, and the vessel presented in this map chart here can also be used to show how the vessel was traveling out of Port Hedland, as shown like this. The problem now is it's still difficult to see how the position of the vessel is related to the tidal heights. We have this line chart here, but what we really want to know is whether how the vessel was traveling as according to the tidal heights. So let's bring in the time dimension. With the time dimension, we can visualize the vessel movement as an animated playback. In this page, I'm showing the vessel position at a given point in time, and we can use the document property feature in Spotfire to specify which time that we are showing. And we can use this slider to change the time that we want to show. So if I drag this along, you can see the vessel is moving at different time. So at a later time, the vessel has come out of the port. And with this in place, we can create a animation function to update the vessel position at a set interval. So let me just show you this animation. If I click the start button, the animation starts. You can see the time is changing, it's increasing, and the vessel is moving along the time axis. And I'm going to pause here. As the vessel enters this area highlighted, you can see that this is another shapefile that are included in this map chart, which shows the channel of Port Hedland, and also the color of this shape represents the height of the tidal. At this time, the tidal height is 4.5 meters, above the minimal tidal height that is required by the vessel. And as the vessel resumes traveling, the tidal height remains above the vessel minimal tidal height. And you can see exactly how the vessel was traveling out of the Port Hedland. And at a later time, the vessel comes back to Port Hedland. So if I drag this time to a later location and resume the playback action, the vessel will come back to Port Hedland now. So at this time, the tides are getting high, and the vessel has entered the port with also tides above the minimal tidal height. So how can we achieve all this? Let's first talk about vessel rendering. Geographical information system software can be used to create static shapefiles, like the one shown here for representing the port channel. However, vessel shapes are dynamically created based on the AIS data shown in this page. Each AIS data contains the position of the vessel and the direction where the vessel is heading. Together with the length and the width of the vessel, the shape of the vessel can be generated. And in Spotfire, this shape is generated using IronPython scripts. IronPython script in Spotfire is used to extend the functionality of Spotfire using the Spotfire API. And similar to R scripts, IronPython scripts can be written by programmers but used by anyone without the programming knowledge. Let me show you where the IronPython script is. Under the Edit menu, there is the Document Properties. In the Document Properties dialog, there is the Scripts tab. Inside this Scripts tab, there are IronPython and JavaScripts. And we are interested in this Draw Vessel by Bounds IronPython script. As you can see here, for this script, there are a few parameters that the user needs to understand before it can be used. But that's the only thing that they need to know. They do not need to understand the programming knowledge of IronPython or the API of the Spotfire. All they need to know is to enter the value of these parameters and then execute the IronPython script. And the IronPython script written by the developer can be shared in many other visualizations, which can be to generate vessel shapes, aircraft shapes, or even weather shapes. The possibility is endless. Now let's talk about animated playback. The animated playback of vessel is achieved via changing the current time document property at a set interval. Let's take a look at the document property. This is under the Properties tab, and here is the current time document property. This document property is changed when the user drags along the handle in the slider, or after the user clicks the Start button. A JavaScript is triggered and which updates the current time document property. This document property is used in the different layers to show the latest vessel position. So inside this vessel shape layer, in the limit data expression, the current time document property is used so that the latest vessel position is presented on the map chart. And and also, after the user clicks the Start button, a JavaScript gets triggered. All JavaScripts are stored inside this Scripts tab and in the JavaScript subtab. The auto refresh JavaScript is used to update the current time document property. So similar to an IronPython script, the JavaScript also contains parameters. And the user of this JavaScript also only needs to know the input parameters and does not require to have any JavaScript knowledge. And once this JavaScript has been in place, the user can use the Start button here to resume the animated playback. And when this is started, the current time document property gets updated, and so other visualization would be updated based on the current time document property. This is the end of my geolocation analytics sharing.
Well, that was a wonderful section from Andrew and Matthew. Andrew going through the APIs, in particular IronPython for controlling different operations in Spotfire, and Matthew really showing how the map chart can be extended in some very interesting and useful ways. So we're going to wrap it up now. The one thing that Matthew was able to show was changing the map chart for different functions. I did want to point out that we can use our Tibco R engine to create interactive graphs that extend the Spotfire palette. There's a set of code structures that allow you to define polygons across a grid and then to export the resulting description as a shapefile. And then that shapefile can be brought into Spotfire, as I showed earlier, as a layer on a map, and then that makes an interactive graphic that's you can point and click, mark, and so on in Spotfire for drill down. Just behaves like a interactive Spotfire map. So that's very useful and very easy to do. But up now, the one thing that Matthew was able to show was changing the map chart for different functions. I did want to point out that we can use our Tibco R engine to create interactive graphs that extend the Spotfire palette. There's a set of code structures that allow you to define polygons across a grid and then to export the resulting description as a shapefile. And then that shapefile can be brought into Spotfire, as I showed earlier, as a layer on a map, and then that makes an interactive graphic that's you can point and click, mark, and so on in Spotfire for drill down. Just behaves like a interactive Spotfire map. So that's very useful and very easy to do using our Tibco R libraries. Provides that additional set of visuals for different applications, interactive Spotfire charts as developed through Tibco R. Now, a lot of the things you saw today, the main solution we showed you was about customer service and making offers to customers. This was one example of a data function that that construct can be used for predictive maintenance, maintaining machinery, inventory analysis, pricing, fraud, transportation, a variety of applications where we can build a model in Spotfire and then deploy it to our real-time Tibco infrastructure for interventions and real-time analysis. So where do you want to get more information on what we saw today? If you go to the Spotfire website and click on the Learn button, you'll see a number of topics here, quick reference topics, tips and tricks, what you can get in training, videos, that kind of thing. The Spotfire education program is pretty significant. You can download this one-pager that talks about the Spotfire for analysts and designers, for data scientists and developers, including a class, fairly new class on our Runtime R engine and how that works with Spotfire. I really highly recommend that class for folks doing data science type work. A class on our APIs with IronPython, that some of the stuff that Andrew showed. And then there's a variety of classes for Spotfire administration. So thanks. Please stay in touch. Send me email, any questions. Follow the Twitter feed. I'm going to open up for questions now. I see a few questions coming in. We were kind of running out of time, and I'm probably going to have to take a lot of these questions via email. Yeah, it looks like there's quite a lot here. So thanks so much, everybody, for your engagement today. We've covered a lot of territory, and it's wonderful to have a thriving and active community of advanced users of the Spotfire product out there. So yeah, contact us, take a look at some of those links that I showed. We'll make these slides available as a slide share for you. And we look forward to the next Tibco Advanced Analytics Meetup. We have these every quarter, and hope you can join us again going forward. Bye for now.